So welcome back to another, I guess, discussion talking about this mouse pad. Now, I need to turn autofocus off, but this mouse pad, I've been using it. I don't use it anymore, but I've been using it for about 4 months, I want to say. 3 or 4 months. And I think I heard of this mouse pad about a year ago or whenever it was released. Pretty sure it was like a year ago though that I heard about this, but I wasn't able to purchase it to at least North America. I think it was in Sweden where they were shipping first and where they're made. I'm not exactly sure, but I wasn't able to purchase this until like way later. So what got me interested in this, I'm kind of weird when it comes to mouse pads. I switch often depending on the game that I play. I don't know if I'm the only person like this, but it's hard to find a mouse pad where I can play my best in every single game. Now, this mouse mat, basically, it covers my whole desk that I don't even have it extended all the way because it's so long. I have it kind of folded at the very edge. I've washed this mouse pad one time in the washer, and then I dried it in the dryer, and it's still perfectly fine. But I've had it like for a couple of months, and I only washed it once. And as you can see, it doesn't really look that bad the amount of time that I had used it. And I'm a person who eats at my desk, drinks at my desk, has food at my desk, because right now my living situation is kind of like the rooms that I'm in are really small. So everything's like in this one room and I don't have a TV. So usually all like my movie watching, anime watching and everything is from this desk. So, you know, I eat snacks here, popcorn, nachos, and, you know, just food in general whenever I'm watching anime or like even playing video games, because it's like my one place where I do everything. So yeah, my mouse pads get dirtier than other people if you don't eat at your desk and you tend to keep it very clean. So yeah, just the way this is how it looks after like all of the eating and, you know, dirt, whatever. I don't think it looks that bad. It looks pretty nice. Now, I don't think this is going to bother anyone. I played with it two ways. I flipped it around and played with it for a month, like the other way to where this is on the opposite side. And then I flipped it back to normal, how it's meant to be used, I would assume, because the logo's like this. And I played like this for the rest of the month. And it felt the same to me, right? But I know sometimes people have it the right way, the way it's supposed to be, because sometimes when you flip the mouse pad around, it gives a different kind of glide or whatever, like how it's not intended to be used. So it really depends. But yeah, I don't think this is ever going to get in the way. I never go down here. And as big as this mouse pad is, this mouse mat, it's like, I don't feel like I need a reason to ever go down here, but do know if you do go down here, this is going to affect you if you use this, because it's like a sticker and you can definitely feel the bump. Pretty sure you can probably remove this if you don't want it there. But like I said, it doesn't bother me. It's never gotten in my way. Like I play way up here, you can't even see. But yeah, see, like if my arm's way up here, basically my whole arm is on the desk. So it's like literally way up here. And when I have to slide down, I usually slide down, but I never ever even go to like this bottom half, because, you know, I'm sitting like super close to my desk, and, you know, when I'm rolling, by the time I go down, I don't think I ever need a reason to go this far down, even at a super low sensitivity and DPI. But yeah, the way I test mouse pads, well, like when I play video games, is just how well I play, right? If I feel like I have to change my sensitivity, if I have to lower it or if I have to raise it because the mouse pad is either too fast or too slow, then it tells me that a mouse pad is too fast or something. Now, I don't know what kind of mouse pad I prefer. I'm still looking for one, like I said, that can provide a good experience on every single game. And I don't know if that's possible. I mean, obviously you can adjust your sensitivity on each individual game to be different, but most people like want to have it identical to what they had on another game. But like, for instance, CSGO and Overwatch are two completely like dramatically different games. Like Overwatch, you're aiming, you know, up and down, left and right. CSGO is mainly, most of the time, it's going to be left and right. Sometimes it's going to be up, but no one's like running around the corners and like running past you and trying to shoot you and jump shot you like Overwatch and stuff like that. In Overwatch, you need to like be able to have fast movement in different like locations and stuff. And even on Overwatch, I play on a really, really slow DPI and sensitivity, and I think I do pretty well regardless. But all my sensitivities across all games are not the same. My DPI is consistently on 400 on every mouse that I use. So one problem that I find with a lot of mouse pads that I use, no matter what I test, I think there's only been 2 mouse pads that have been consistent. And that's the Artisan Hein or Hein. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Let me know down in the comments below. And the Zowie GSR, like the black version, the one that's like super slow and muddy. Like I love it after like it's super humid. The problem with that mouse pad is it's inconsistent, but I'm still very good with it because sometimes it would be faster than other days depending on how humid it is in your room or your location. And unless you have like a constant dehumidifier running, then maybe it's not something you have to worry about with the Zowie GSR, like the OG version. But like I've always thought I love control pads, right? But then when I found the Artisan Hein, like I said, I do apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's like, that's been the fastest mouse pad that I can get used to. Now, I've played on faster mouse pads, but I couldn't aim at all. Even, like, it's weird because the littlest, slightest things in a mouse pad, like whether it's the weaves or something, it makes it feel completely different. Now, the reason, like I said, the reason I got this mouse mat was because of the description that it said on their website. In the YouTube videos that they made, it was in a different language. I don't know what language they were talking, but they had captions and everything on it. And then I went to their website and, you know, translated it to English. But basically what it was saying is like, it's one of the most high friction control mouse pads. And I was always looking for a mouse pad that was like slower than the Zowie GSR or as slow, but like extended version or something, because I think the Zowie GSR is too small. I wish it was a little bigger because I ended up running out of mouse space, like especially with the thick edges that stitch edges that the Zowie GSR has, unlike the Artisans. But yeah, I was always looking for something slower, and that's why I got this. Now, I really don't know how to explain what type of mouse pad this is. It's really weird because I think it's literally faster than the Artisan Hein. Like, it's not that it's a super fast mouse pad, but it's definitely, I don't know, it's either the same or it's faster than the Artisan Hein. And I have the Artisan Hein X Soft. All my Artisan mouse pads are X Soft. So maybe like if you get an Artisan Mid or Soft or whatever, maybe it's faster. Like the Artisan is faster. I don't know. I never used it. I only used the X Soft because I love the way it sinks in and you don't feel like the bumps on your table or anything on the Artisan pads. But yeah, like the X Soft, this mouse pad definitely feels faster whenever like you're moving your mouse around. And I think this is one of the fastest desk mats that I have. But it's kind of weird because it only feels fast when you start your movement. Like for instance, when you pick it up, like the initial start of this feels really fast. So for instance, that's why it glides like pretty far whenever like you barely push it. But once you like gets to a certain point to where it just keeps going, it starts slowing down. Now it is not slow like a GSR. It's nowhere near as slow like I've never found a mouse pad as slow as the Zowie GSR or even close. I've tried the Logitech one, and I feel like the Logitech one almost feels like this one. Like, except I can actually aim on this mouse pad compared to like the Logitech one. Now, I've also tried I think it's the QCK extended version and the QCK heavy. And that one is definitely slower than this one, that's for sure. The QCK mouse pads are definitely slower. I think it's probably the second slowest mouse pads that I've tried. And it was one of the mouse pads that I started with when I switched to PC gaming. But the Zowie GSR has still been the slowest mouse pad that I've ever used. Now, the weird thing about this for me, I play games like CSGO. I play Overwatch. I play Call of Duty. And I don't know what it is about this or any mouse pad in general, but there's only been 2, like I said, mouse pads that I can play on any game. This mouse pad, for some reason, the only game that I can play on this mouse pad is Call of Duty, Cold War, and Warzone. Those are the only games that I can consistently aim well on this mouse pad for some reason. I tried to play a month with this mouse pad on Overwatch, and I literally deranked on a lot of games, no matter if it was healer, no matter if it was DPS. Then I started playing arcade mode because I was like missing so many shots. I went to a higher DPI. I went to a higher sensitivity on Overwatch and a higher like aim down scope if you're playing like Widow or Ana. But it didn't matter what I changed it to. I even went lower than what I normally have, which I already play pretty low, and I couldn't aim. Like, what I was either overshooting or like I had trouble keeping up with the characters because it was like my sensitivity was too low. Eventually, I just gave up on this mouse pad for like Overwatch. So I started playing Counter-Strike. And the same thing was happening with Counter-Strike, which was weird. I couldn't aim. And those two games are completely different, right? And I would assume this, since I was playing pretty good on Call of Duty with this mouse pad, like my shots were on point, I figured that Overwatch would be the same. But it wasn't, and I don't know what it is. I try to mess with the FOV on Call of Duty to see if I can match the Overwatch, because I think Overwatch I think only goes to 103 and Call of Duty goes higher. I put it to 110, I put it to 103, I put it to the highest it goes, and like nothing changed on like the way it felt on Call of Duty. I was still able to aim very well no matter what I changed it to. But when it came to Overwatch, even though Overwatch the characters are way bigger and like their heads are like more noticeable than Call of Duty, especially like on the graphics that I play on Call of Duty, like they're very low and shitty. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't play on this mouse pad on most of my games. So I don't know what that means. Like a lot of mouse pads, I have that problem. Like the Logitech, I was not able to play any game with that mouse pad except for Fortnite, when I used to play Fortnite way like 4 years ago. So I never used that mouse pad anymore because what's good as a mouse pad if I can only play one game? And the same goes with this one. It's like I can only play Call of Duty with this for whatever reason. Like I said, it starts out fast, and it's not that it slows down whenever you're like moving around, but I don't know, something about it just seems like it does have stopping power. You can feel it whenever you're like consistently moving, but it also has like speed, which is really confusing. Like I said, I'll do a glide. The only glide test I can do is this. It's not really going to show much, but I'll put it up against the Artisan in a minute. But I want to say confidently that this mouse pad is definitely faster than the Artisan Hind, the X Soft. But I play very well with the Artisan Hind. I can play basically every game except for like Counter-Strike on the Artisan Hind. I mess around with a little with my sensitivity, and I feel like I still do very well, but not as good as I did with the GSR. The GSR, I think, is the only mouse pad that I can do well on every game, but I noticed that my aim tenses because of how slow the mouse pad is, and I always like end up like shaking whenever I have to do like small micro adjustments because it's so hard to move on the GSR to track enemies. So like for instance, if an enemy moves far left and then goes all of a sudden to far left and then to the right, like super fast, like they're strafing, especially like Apex Legends, it's hard to keep up with the GSR with the sensitivity that I play on, at least, because it's like if I overshoot them and they're moving and then they move back, it's so long to like micro adjust on the GSR that a lot of the times my shots cannot keep up with the character when it comes to tracking. But it really depends. Now from a longer range, it's very easy because, you know, it doesn't matter like how far they go. It seems minimal from like far distance. But in close range, I lose a lot of my close range gunfights because of the tracking. It's hard to like keep movement with them. Now, if I'm like, what the GSR is really good at is Counter-Strike for me, because the flicks are insane. Like whether you're opping or you're like headshotting AKs, like I can do all that with the Zowie GSR perfectly. Like I have done 360s on people like just by swiping my mouse like 3 times, and like I really love that mouse pad. And if I mess around with my sensitivity, I can track pretty well with Soldier on Overwatch pretty consistently. Like I said, it's only when it comes like when they come super close to me, like Tracer, where I sort of have a problem keeping up with them because of how like hard it is to make micro adjustments on the GSR. But I still did pretty well, and my playstyle changes depending on the mouse pad I'm using. With the Artisan Hind, it's like I can shoot up close and I can shoot from a distance. Which I think is the main mouse pad that I'm maining right now, but I think it's going to be the one that I'm going to main for a very long time, because I feel that it's the one that I can play most games on, right? I can track and I can like flick. I still struggle a little bit on CSGO with it, but I feel like if I change around some settings and practice a little bit more, I can be consistent on that mouse pad. But overall, like, tracking is insane. I did lower my sensitivity on a couple of games with the Artisan Hind. With this mouse pad, I also lowered it. Like, the sensitivity for all my games are the same for this mouse pad as it is for the Artisan Hind. But something about the Artisan Hind feels way different. I don't know if it's because the Artisan has like a different glide going up and down compared to like left and right. Maybe that's like the biggest factor in why I love that mouse pad. Maybe like that helps me in some type of way, even though I don't really feel it. But this definitely has a soft surface. It's like very cushiony. It's like cold to the touch. The Artisan is also cold to the touch, but it has a rougher surface. So I don't know, if you have the funds, definitely it's a mouse pad that you have to try. Like, there's no other way for me to explain what I think about this besides that I'm not going to use it. The only thing I'm going to use this for is to leave it on my desk, and which is what I've been doing, and putting mouse pads over it because I love how cushiony it feels. And even putting the Artisan Hind, even though I already have like the X off, putting it over this feels even nicer. So I love the way my whole arm sinks in and it feels nice. So yeah, and I use these mouse feet, like the Lexip ceramic feet. It's ones that I've always been using. I have extra ones if I ever switch mice, or I could just take these off and put them in another one. So yeah, like there's really nothing that I can say about this mouse pad. It's the durability for 4 or 5 months, forever time frame that I have had it, and as dirty like as I am at my desk, I think it's pretty good. Like I said, you can see a couple of spots here. I don't know if they'll go away if I wash them. Like I said, I only washed this mouse pad once. So yeah, but the glide still feels the same. It's still fast. Now, obviously, it's not no Shidenkai, and it's not no hard mouse pad, right? It's not that fast. But like, if you've ever used an Artisan Hind, that's like probably how it feels like. That's all I can say. It's something that you have to try if you have the funds. I know they have smaller versions, and you could try that if you want to see how the glide feels, and then upgrade to the extended one if you actually enjoy it. If you want the extended one, some people don't want a big one, right? Like, just let me tell you, it's very long. It covers my whole desk. I don't have space for it. So yeah, overall, I don't know. It depends what kind of like glide you're looking for, right? Like, little changes in a mouse pad make a difference. Like, the Artisan is rough to the touch, and it makes a big difference on how it feels. But look, I'll do this again. See, it kind of keeps going. Now, when I use the one that I've been maining, the Artisan Hind, or Heen, however you pronounce it, and this one I've been having this for a year. So I mean, as you can see, there's like a big white spot right here. I haven't tried washing it, but it doesn't, I don't feel any difference right here. It feels the same, but it's definitely rough, as you can, I don't know if you'll be able to hear, but this is definitely rough. But here's the glide. So it's almost about the same, right? But see, this one ends up stopping. And even if I go straight up, it still stop. I can go harder, but basically it's almost about the same. I feel like this one has more stopping power. Now, obviously it's different when you go straight up, because like I said, I think this mouse pad is different left and right and up and down. This other one is like consistent all around. So yeah, I don't know. I forgot which way it was that it's faster. I don't know if it's faster side to side or if it's faster up and down. But one of them is faster and then the other one's a little bit slower. It has a different like axis or whatever. So yeah, but I enjoy this one. This has been my main, this one and the Zowie JSR. But yeah, I would say like starting off, it's definitely as fast, but I feel like the Artisan has a little bit more control. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the roughness but I just, overall, I can control it better. And on most games I can play on this one. On this other one, like, I can only play Call of Duty for whatever reason. I cannot aim on any other game. I don't know, it's probably a me problem, right? But that's why I tried different mouse pads to see what I'm more comfortable with. And like this, like I said, the GSR was something that I'm comfortable with, and this Artisan one is something that I'm comfortable with, which they're two completely different mouse pads. So yeah, take that for what you will. It's not really like a review, it's just kind of a discussion and my overall thoughts about what I thought about this mouse pad from using it for a couple of months. It's not going to be my main ever. It's just for this other mouse pads to be on top of it and give it a little bit more cushion. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll try to answer what I can. And sorry it wasn't really an in-depth review. But yeah, that's all I really do on this channel, is just talk about mouse pads. I know I was talking about other mouse pads and comparing them, but I thought it was kind of necessary to give an overall perspective of like what kind of play style I enjoy playing, and like how my aim kind of is affected by the mouse pads that I use, depending on how I play or the games that I play. Because like I said, Counter-Strike is more of a like campy type game, you know, strategic. Overwatch is more, it's also like placement in Overwatch, but it's a little bit more dynamic and a little more going on, as well as Call of Duty. So I don't know, take that for what it is, and I'll try to answer any questions that you have in the comments below. But I hope you all have a lovely rest of your night, and yeah, maybe I'll give an update about this mouse pad as well, about the Artisan and other mouse pads that I have used already in the past. I can give my overall analysis of what I think about the other mouse pads that I've used. So yeah, anyways, have a lovely rest of your night, and I guess I'll talk to you when I talk to you. So yeah, be safe.